This is maybe 7 minutes into the interview. I'll look around and there'll be nobody there. That happens every time.
Please welcome George Miller.
You know, another guy who's so hot the last few years, sells out wherever he goes, is Willie Nelson. I think he's from the South, isn't he? I'm not sure. No? Where? Texas? Boy, that guy is just sells the tickets and just one of my favorite singers. And for a guy who always looks like he needs to be vacuumed.
The man generating the laughter is George Miller, former bakery employee and current professional comic.
Like one time we're on a bus and there's a kid about 9 or 10 years old who's got his arm dangling out the window like kids do. My mom didn't know him. She had to give a lecture. Young man, that's a good way to lose an arm. The kid was sarcastic. He said, thank you. Could you tell us some of the other ways?
George performs regularly on Late Night with David Letterman, Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin, and a host of comedy clubs around the country. When we caught up with him, he was plying his trade at Atlanta's Comedy Spot.
What do you say to a man who wants to take one-a-day vitamins, but he can't figure out the dosage? What are you supposed to say?
George got his start in the business, and of course, by the business, I do mean the industry, after graduation from the University of Washington. He was doing stand-up at the Colony Club in Seattle when a certain talk show king arrived in town, and Miller was determined to impress his idol.
And I went up to the desk just like I owned the place. That was part of my aggressive, I was trying to be aggressive. And I said, oh, which room is Johnny Carson in? And they gave out the room number like dummies. I couldn't believe it. And he says, well, he says, George, I'm just in town. He was very nice. He was very nice through the door. And he said, I'm just in town for the night, and I don't have any clothes on. I have to take a shower. And I kept persisting through the door. And he says, I don't have any clothes on. He kept, and finally I said, well, can't you just look at these jokes? And all of a sudden I heard the shower running. There was no more Carson at the door.
Fortunately, Carson didn't remember this when Miller debuted on The Tonight Show in 1976, a launching point for every aspiring jokester.
And I went over there one time and I bought you ever get those, it was a vending machine. I bought a bunch of those junior mints, and I guess they were real old and they had all melted into one big senior mint. Senior mint, yeah, that's what I said, senior mint.
When George is not joking, he's researching, scouring the local and national papers in search of new comedy gags.
Oh, here's the personals column. I like the personals column. Oh, this is an odd one. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of John Norman Rigby? Please keep it to yourself. The man is extremely boring. Strange personals in Georgia. Actually, I just scan the paper. I'll scan it, and then if anything of interest, catches my eye, then I'll read it. James Taylor's still alive. Everything's okay.
My favorite singer of all time is James Taylor. I love the words to James Taylor's songs. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I mean, this guy has really been around.
When he's not reading, he's walking real fast.
I always walk 3-4 miles a day, always towards someone I can say my name to.
On this particular day, George decided to walk the extra 12 miles to shoot a little pool at his favorite parlor. Hey, if you're going to shoot pool. And George plays pool real well.
Nice shot. Get that one. And I was playing pool like during the week, well, all the time, and then I was doing like 5 shows a weekend at the Colony Club for very little money. And I was able to support myself, just, pay the rent and eat food for like maybe 15 months at one time. And
this happens every day. I say something, I know the person heard me say it, but they repeat what I said. Can I borrow $5? I know the guy heard it. He says, $5? So what I do now, if I know they heard it and they repeat it, I switch what I said to mix them up, see? Like I'm in this restaurant. Waitress came over very plainly. I said, no dessert. She said, no dessert. I said, apple pie. She said, apple pie. I said, no dessert.
And hardly a day goes by when George doesn't check in with his pal in New York. The one with the late night extravaganza.
Hello, Hey, what are you doing?
Getting ready to take a shower.
Now listen, they're taping this, so if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to. It's PM magazine business.
Okay.
What have you been up to?
Nothing. How do you like the city of Atlanta itself?
Well, it's pretty nice, and the people are real friendly. It's not as cold and distant as some of the other cities.
Have you spent your time counting the number of streets named Peachtree?
Well, there's there's only one Peachtree Street, but it runs like, I think it's like 100 miles long or something like that.
They're recording this on quarter-inch audio tape?
Is it quarter-inch audio? 3/4 inch, David.
3/4 inch.
Yeah.
This is videotape, isn't it?
This is a videotape, yeah.
All right, now, as soon as they unplug the AC,
yeah,
or whatever they've got powering this unit, you have them Federal Express a copy of this tape to my attorney.
I'll tell you some inside dope. Okay, NBC has not given David a real big budget, and I knew that when I got my plane tickets in the mail. I had never heard of Ronco Airlines.